Hi, my name is Stacey Pitts, the co-founder of CBD BioCare, and joining me today is Dr. Frank Michalski, who is a certified functional medicine physician and chiropractor in Buffalo, New York. And today we're going to talk about a very common condition that people all around the world suffer from, and it's depression. And wow, what a loaded condition that is, Dr. Frank. But I want to talk about how CBD is helping people with depression, all different types of degrees of depression. So let's open up the conversation and really kind of define the different types of depression that are out there.
You're right. Where do we begin, right? I can't even imagine how many different categories there is of depression in the American Journal of Psychology at this point. But depression could include generalized depression, anxiety disorders. This could be an acute episode of depression. It could fall under the symptoms of a bipolar disorder. So there's a million different things that fall under this category. But for most people watching, I feel we're going to hear the word depression and we're going to think of sadness, right? We're going to think about, oh, this is that individual who's sad. They're depressed. They just don't seem to have that oomph, that get up and go type attitude some days. And I believe most people watching this at one point or another have suffered from some degree of depression. I would be lying if I'd say I have. I live in Buffalo. We get seasonal depression here. It's a thing. We don't see the sun for months on end. It's gray and cold outside all winter. So depression, though, where we have to start, at least from our standpoint in my offices, is we always want to start to assess that root cause of depression when we're working with people or talking about it. So being a chiropractor, many people I deal with that suffer from depression are dealing with chronic pain, right? They've been in a car accident. They've had a horrible slip and fall. They've had really bad arthritis that's just wearing on them. And that leads to depression, pain. Perhaps we have that individual who's suffering from a traumatic experience. They've gone through a bout of, maybe it's domestic violence, maybe it's they're coming back from a bout in the military, and now they have PTSD, which involves very adverse memories, very bad memories, and that's leading to a bout of depression. So we're always trying to look, what is the cause of that depression? Is it stress? Is it someone who's chronically stressed in a job position, and that job position is just wearing away at them every day, and now they're depressed because of that ongoing stress and anxiety? Now, the beautiful thing, when I start to talk about CBD, and I'm sure you're thinking this as I mention each of those scenarios, is it has the potential to benefit each of those people in a unique type of way. Now, the basis of depression, no matter what the individual is, no matter what's causing it, all comes down to neurotransmitter health. So neurotransmitters are chemicals that transport messages from our brain to the rest of our body. They determine how we feel. Depression is widely accepted as a problem with serotonin, a problem with dopamine, and a problem with GABA, a few other neurotransmitters. Is it too much? Is it too little? Is it a problem with the receptors? We don't really know. The next sad thing is we don't even 100% know why the medications that we prescribe for depression seem to help. There's some general agreements on what they do, but there isn't, oh, this 100% is doing this for this individual. That information doesn't exist. CBD, what we do know is this: the endocannabinoid system regulates a lot of neurotransmitters in our body, and it seems to create balance. People who suffer from depression, things are out of balance. How much, how little, that's to be determined. But CBD promotes endocannabinoid system health. And when our endocannabinoid system is healthy, it restores balance across multiple ways of our body, across multiple pathways. So from that standpoint, I think just that alone may help with depression. Now, I'll mention depression now is being linked to GI disease, gastrointestinal diseases, because we have so many serotonin neurotransmitters in our gut. We have seen tremendous benefit with people using CBD for gut health. Is that a possible reason why people with depression are seeing a benefit? Is it helping their gut health and then benefiting depression? Perhaps. The other really promising thing that we're seeing too for depression is CBD is a strong anti-inflammatory. fact check this for people watching. Type in depression and inflammation. You are going to pull up a world of literature and research on Google. CBD is a strong anti-inflammatory. We have that right off of the government patent. So again, if we fight inflammation, are we going to fight depression? Most likely.
You know, it's really interesting. The endocannabinoid system is a relatively new system within the body, even though it is a major system within the body, was only discovered 30 years ago. So you might go to your primary care physician and mention the endocannabinoid system. And mind you, this might be one of the best primary care physicians in the area. If they went to school more than 30 years ago, they may not be an expert on the ECS or endocannabinoid system. Shocking, but true. I still don't think that the endocannabinoid system is taught in medical school. So as astonishing as that is, it is very much a part of our system. It's not like a kumbaya system in our body that, oh, wouldn't it be great if we all knew about the ECS? No, it is a real system, just like our cardiovascular system, just like our digestive system. And the ECS regulates things within our body. And one of the things it regulates is mood. So
Absolutely.
that is fantastic to know, even though we are learning more and more about the ECS and how our body responds. But you can have an endocannabinoid deficiency within your endocannabinoid system. So if you have a deficiency, you have to fill the void, right? Or increase the deficiency. And so we're finding that people that are taking a full spectrum CBD product, that they're filling that void and helping to create that balance. So to your point, if you're just focusing on gut health, for example, I mean, if you know somebody that's suffering from a disease or something of the gut, what happens? It also causes a lot of times extreme fatigue, right? So now you have gut health, which is causing indigestion, maybe stomach pain, stomach cramping, and now it's causing fatigue because they're not absorbing their food properly. Now it's being diagnosed as depression because of all the other issues going on. So it really is a loaded, complex problem when depression is the diagnosis, because to your point, it's usually associated with all of these other things.
Completely.
So CBD, in my opinion, take my CBD BioCare hat off and just, the owner hat, and just talk about from what the science and the research and what we're seeing is, it should be the first go-to item, in my opinion, for anybody that's suffering from depression. Am I out there, Dr. Frank, or do you agree?
I really don't think so. And for so many reasons, there's been a lot to show that CBD is benefiting individuals with depression. You can go online and simply do a search and see the amount of people reaching out saying it was life-changing for them. People with depression, when this works for them, it's not uncommon. They're saying, hey, this changed my life. You're seeing NFL players come out very vocal about it, saying, I suffered from chronic pain. I suffered from depression because of chronic pain. I started to develop a pill addiction because of depression, chronic pain, and needing that escape. And they're turning now and saying, holy cow, I didn't know about CBD. Now I know, and this is changing my outlook on life. And that's not me saying it. That is, you have NFL players, tons of athletes coming out and saying how CBD has benefited their chronic pain and their depression that they're suffering with. So I really believe too, with the fact that the side effects are essentially non-existent in most all cases, and I'll talk a little bit about the dosage in a moment. Why would we not start with this? Antidepressants come with harsh side effects. We just did a podcast, Stacey, on MS. One of the most common things that people with MS will actually state that they're having an issue with isn't the MS treatment itself, it's the antidepressants that they get prescribed. So why would we not, especially when we don't know if the antidepressants are 100% going to work anyways, why would we not try a more conservative approach? Of course, I always prefer a more conservative approach. Now, yes, for those suffering from very serious clinical depression where, God forbid, suicide is on the radar, that's an emergent, right? That's an emergency. You know, when that's happening, contact someone, work with someone. But for everyone else, and even that person, I would still use CBD. I mean, it's sad when you look at our numbers of suicide, right? It's a horrible thing. I think we need something new in the field to help people with depression, and CBD seems to be on the forefront of that.
Absolutely. And of course, I'm not saying either that there isn't a time and a place for antidepressants that are available and you have to work with a physician, but I highly recommend at least experimenting with CBD. I have somebody in my office who was on 4 medications. One of them was an antidepressant. He no longer is taking it, along with some very heavy drugs, but he was working with a physician because, you know, it also is scary you can't abruptly get off some of these
Sure.
medications. So you have
Great
to work
point.
with a physician. But, you know, there's different degrees. You know, you mentioned that in Buffalo, New York, a lot of people suffer from kind of seasonal depression.
Yes.
There's maybe situations in your life, maybe someone has passed away, or you're not liking your job, or there's something going on in your life that's causing kind of a maybe what we could refer to as a temporary depression.
Yes.
It's circumstantial. But then there are more severe instances, you know, maybe somebody who has just had a baby and has postpartum depression. There can be some other chemical things going on, or somebody that has bipolar disorder.
Great point.
So if you would kind of is CBD, do you think, for the people that have bipolar or some of the more severe depressive disorders, that they can also get the benefit from CBD as well?
So my answer would be absolutely. And I think there's a lot of good literature out there on it. I can't say that I've dove too deep into the specifics of each case, each category of depression, but I've seen it in my office. Bipolar disorder, we have a patient who has bipolar disorder. They suffer from chronic pain. They're currently suffering, and they are able to avoid some of the medications that are commonly prescribed are harsh. These are heavy hitting medications, and these individuals are usually able to reduce or in some cases get off of them with the incorporation of CBD. So I do believe there's a huge potential benefit, and I believe those may be the people that stand to benefit the most from a CBD product.
Absolutely. Well, I think that what we've definitely exposed today is that depression is very real, very common, and CBD can potentially help. So it's definitely worth exploring, because oftentimes with depression, there's other things that are going on as well. So thank you so much, Dr. Frank. Is there anything final that you want to comment on? Anything we missed?
No, you said it. There's often other things going on. If we have chronic pain, insomnia, a poor diet, GI distress, something going on in the family relationship, think of all those things. CBD may help benefit each of those. It's a multifactorial problem. CBD may be a multifactorial support product or even solution for some. So,
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Frank, as always.
anytime.